Hello there, this is Jane from KIMD Group of Companies, that design department, and in this episode I bring you a 7-acre layout, and it's a mixed farm. So we have a lot of facilities there. We have almost 10 facilities there. If you wish to know about different animals, if you wish to know about fish farming, pastures, poultry, they are all in this video. Basically, this layout is with people that are having big farms but don't know how to utilize that farm fully, or they don't know how to utilize that land to the maximum. And this is 7 acres like I told you, but it has a variety of structures. Firstly, let me talk about our poultry structures. We have birds, different kind of birds, and I'm going to talk about them. We have 1,000 chicken. When you look at our structure of 1,000 chicken, they are the structures we've been talking about in our past videos. We've been telling you the importance of different parts of the structure, why you have to have those parts on the structure, why you have to build that kind of structure. And today I'm going to emphasize on that same point. We have an exercising area for our chicken. You would be like, why do I need an exercise yard for the chicken? Like human, you need to move out for sunlight. You can't keep indoors 24/7. That can affect your health, and it can also affect your behaviors. So it's the same thing with our chicken. We put them out to exercise, also in cases of supplementaries, so you need to improve their behaviors. So that's why we put them out to play around, jump around, things like that. So that exercise yard is also good. Another thing we have about the structure, it's the concrete down. The floor is made of concrete. Why we make this floor of concrete? Basically, it's about the cleaning area, or the cleaning part of it. You need to clean this area fully. In cases of new stock of chicken, and even this old stock, it needs to be cleaned to prevent diseases in birds. So when you leave the area not sprayed well or not cleaned fully, many diseases might arise within your poultry, which is not good, and the expenses might increase due to that. So you have to make sure your structure or your ground, the flooring, is made of concrete. The other thing we have about the structure is the mesh around. You see on the sides of the structure, it's the mesh. You might be like, isn't it too much? Yes, chicken, when you look at the chicken, they need air circulation within the structure. We design them for the well-being of the chicken, and the well-being we include their comfortability, their health, and many more factors. The mesh is for circulation of air within the structure. When you look at our structure, it has the brooder section. That brooder section helps you in cases of the chicks. You've just brought your chicks on the farm. So that brooder part, it helps you to gazette those chicks so that you can take care of them fully. You warm them very well. You know those chicks need warmth. So that section there is there to help you. Another thing is the shade, or the iron sheet. You need those iron sheets on the structure. So that is basic. The other thing I didn't talk about, the exercise yard. It helps you in supplementaries in case you're giving them to your bird. And the supplementaries help you in case there are layers and you're there, you want to do layers, you need to supplement your chicken. So these supplementaries, the green grass, they help you to improve the nutrients of your egg yolk or the egg laid. It has a lot more nutrients than these normal eggs that are fed from inside. So the nutrients are good for the chicks that are going to be hatched out of there. The chicks that come out of there, they are healthy because you've been feeding on different nutrients. You have the duck. When you look at its structure, it's basically the same like that of chicken, because they share certain behavior. The difference here is that they have a swimming pond. The ducks need water, but still they can live without the water if you don't have the area to put the pond. We have the turkeys. Turkeys, they are naturally wider than the chicken in nature, because we have 100 turkey. Remember, we had 1,000 chickens, and now we have 100 turkeys. The turkeys, you know their behaviors. They need to run around, they need to play around. You can see we have the exercising yard too for them, and we have feeders outside, so that you can supplement them, and at times you can even put their feeds there so they don't have any problem. About these structures, don't forget about the feed bath. These are birds. When you need to enter, you need to be fully clean. You don't just enter. At least you need to clean your shoes or your hands, something like that, so that you don't carry your germs and so on within the poultry. which is good for our farm. The other thing we have, I told you we have fish farming on the layout. I told you we have a lot more things, and this video is going to be separated into 2 episodes. So in this first episode, I've started on it. There are a lot I've been talking about. We've heard about poultry, and now I'm going for fish farming. When you look at our farm layout, it has the fish within. When you look at our pond, it has an office on the sides or the storage area for the fish feed, because you need to feed the fish and their feeds need to be stored very well and easy. So this water, when you look at our ponds, they must have outlets and inlets, so that when you're draining away the water, in case you want to remove the fish are mature, they have reached the adult stage and you need to fish them out. So you reduce on the water, and we have outlets up here in cases of draining in water within the pond. So the other thing about the farm, they are the animals, like I told you. Firstly, let me talk about the goat. On our farm, the structure we have is a 200 goat structure. You can look at it. These are our normal structures that we've been talking about, the raised structure. People have been talking about ground structures. They are also good, but we talk about raised structures as better than the ground structure. And we've been talking about advantages of raised structures over the ground structures. And it's still the same thing I'm going to talk about. They are the components of our raised structure. We raise them basing on different things. And firstly, let me talk about a few of them. We raise the structures in cases of temperature changes and hygiene changes. Because for the ground structure, always the goats pee there, they poo there, so the ground is not easily clean. Release their poo. It passes through the partitions between the wood, because the flooring is made of timber. It's spaced in a way that those droppings can fall through onto the ground. So those droppings don't stay there, which might irritate our animals. So those droppings can fall off through those partitionings to the ground. Even when they urinate, the urine goes through, not leaving stagnant urine around the place, leaving the environment clean and good for the animals living. We have the mesh, and we also have timber on the sides below to the goat's height. Why we do that is for not the air hitting the goats directly. The timber helps us in that. The mesh also helps us in air circulation within the structure, preventing those diseases, different diseases like suffocation within the structure for the goats. So we also have feeders within the structure, and these feeders, they help us in cases it has rained outside, the goats don't need to move out. We can feed our goats inside within the structure, because as you can see, you saw the layout outside, there are 0 grazing goats, so they don't need to move out. And in case they are moved out, we have the exercising yard outside. That's the only place they can be. I'm going to talk about the exercising yard later. So these feeders, they help you when your goats, you're feeding them from inside. We've been telling you we partition these structures according to the number of goats you're having. So when you have 1,000 goats, there are different partitions you're going to have. You have 2,000 goats, there are different partitions you're going to have. We are separating back, we are also separating kids, we are separating pregnant mothers from the general flock. Those are the 4 compartments we are having within the structure. Why we do this partitioning? There are simple reasons. In most cases, when feeding, backs tend to be aggressive, so that aggressiveness, they can knock off the other goat from feeding, which is not good for our goats, because every goat has to feed simultaneously to help in its growth and so on. It helps you when those animals are feeding. And the other thing why we separate is because for their behaviors, the pregnant mothers, they are fragile, I should say. They take their own time when doing things. So to avoid miscarriages and death, those kids can be stumbled on or stepped on by the back. So we separate these things to avoid those kinds of miscomings. When you look at our roof critically, the roof goes a bit off the normal structure plane to over this ramp. This helps us because this is wood. The other thing we have about our layout, they are the rabbits. There are a lot of people there who want to venture into rabbit farming or rabbit business on a large scale or on a small scale. You want to do 5 rabbits. And those people who want to do hundreds and hundreds of rabbits. So wait for me in the next video. We have a lot more animals still coming in and a lot of more facilities still on the same 7-acre piece of land. I remain Jane Nachimuli from Kimdi Group of Companies.